Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy New Year to all of you. We were working on our listening to our Sitayan, the untold story of Sita. We had stopped back in October, so it's been a long time. So I'll give you a little refresher course so you guys remember where we were. So this story was told by Soma, who used to be maid to Sita Mata, and Ansuya, who was in a new birth and was listening to the story from Soma. So we were on the chapter where we were talking about the fulfillment of Sita's work. That was chapter 22 in the book. So Sita had promised her father, Raja Janak, that any time she will have to leave anywhere, she will have to ask his permission. So at this point in her life, she was actually ready to leave her body. So she had to ask Raja Janak. So that's the point where we stopped. Okay. So Raja Janak had come to meet with Mata, and Mata explained everything to him, and she basically got the permission to leave her body from her father. So Soma is telling the story to Ansuya and her mother. A few weeks later, another extraordinary event took place. The sky was filled with pink glow. There were a lot of people coming astrally. They were coming down to the ground, to the cottage. They were walking towards the cottage. Soma and Mata did not know what was going on. They saw a lot of rishis. They saw all rishis like Rishi Vashish, Rishi Lopamudra, Rishi Agastya, Rishi Bhrigu. And first Soma's like, okay, I have to cook for a few people. And then it was like they will keep on coming. And then they saw Parvati Mata and they saw Shivji. And that's when Parvati Mata explained to Sita Mata that today is the day for your celestial wedding. And Shri Ram had arranged this for everybody to see your celestial wedding. Mata was shocked and she's like, but I'm ready to leave the earth. Why this celestial wedding has to happen? So, and then Mata looks at her outfit. So she's wearing an outfit that is suited for the cottage living, like jungle wearing, where she's since living in a forest. So her outfit is very simple. It's not like a bride's outfit. And one look from Parvati Mata and her outfit turns out to be a beautiful bride's outfit. So that garment got changed. And it was a pure wedding. And then they saw Ramji coming on that path, and the garden was full of lot of rishis, Ramji, all the gods and goddesses were there. And that's when finally Ramji said that I have asked you to come to be witness to the love that Sita has awakened in this creation, the love that was embedded in the universe, waiting to be aroused. And her love will guide the humanity. And then Ramji said to Mahadev, Parvati Ma, Saraswati Ma, and Brahmadev that without you, there would be no worlds, no life. It is you who give rise to all that and you maintain the constant energy in the universe. And then he says to Sita Mata, Ramji says to Sita Mata, you are my guiding star, the sustainer of so many universes. And without you, I'm not who I am right now. And then Mata says to Ramji, the love you describe, the love that sustains creation is the love that only you can awaken. So basically, they both are praising each other. They're complimenting each other. And that's where we learn from in this relationship. As a husband and wife, in Hindi, they say we are purak to each other. Purak means we complete each other. Unless one person does not complete other person, the life is very hard to live by. We have to understand our spouses, where they're coming from. We have to put ourselves in their shoes and see what life they're, how much workload or something, or try to share their workload. So they're purak to each other, they complete each other. Ram and Sita, they complete each other, right? So that's little part that we should learn from them. So this was a beautiful wedding that Ramji was getting together, and it ended up very nicely, and everybody enjoyed that wedding. And when Soma's like, okay, now wedding ceremony is finished, but now we have to cook food, right? After the wedding ceremonies, vows exchange and everything, there's supposed to be food. And she's like, how am I supposed to cook for so many people? Then the thought just came to her mind, and she sees a lot of angels coming through with the food baskets. And apparently somehow all these angels, they knew that Soma was the right person to guide where to go for food baskets to go, right? So she is like arranging everything, and everything was well. And then everybody was tired. The thing was all over. The party's over at night. And Soma says when she wakes up in the morning, there's no sign of anyone. It feels like she does not remember anything. All she thinks of was a beautiful dream. And she felt like she just saw a beautiful dream and she did not remember anything. But she knew it was somehow she felt that that dream, whatever that was, it was a gift of Ramji to Sita before she left her body. And Mata, that morning, Mata hardly spoke. She went to her kids' cottage. She spent some time with her boys, Love and Kush, and then she visited with Ramji. And when they both came out of that cottage, Mata said that I am going to go to forest to do meditation. Before she was ready to leave, she brought Hanuman to her, close to her, and she handed Soma's hand to Hanumanji, like as if saying that I'm leaving now, you are going to take care of my Soma. So, because Hanumanji was not going anywhere, Hanumanji was supposed to live there forever, because Hanumanji is Patri sir even said it that, Patri sir said it. I'm not sure Patri sir said it or not, but I heard it somewhere that they say that Hanumanji is supposed to be here still with us on this earth. He has not left his body. I don't know where I heard it. I'm wrong if I quoted Patri sir. I'm sorry about it, but I did hear that Hanumanji has not left his body. So Soma says Soma's hand, Mata gives it to Hanumanji to take care of her. And when she turns around, then that's when Mata leaves with Ramji. And they continue to the path. And then Soma calls Mata and says, Mata, you cannot leave me. Mata says, how can I leave this world when I am this world? We all have to remember this, my friends. Mata is still here. Mata has not left his body. If we feel her presence, we can feel it. If we believe in her, that she is here, you will feel her presence here. Because Mata says, I cannot leave this place because I am this world. How can I leave this world? You of all the people, Soma, should know that. And with that, Mata left. And Soma started crying. And Mata says, no, you don't need to cry. I'm not leaving this world. So Mata keeps on consoling and telling Soma that I'm not leaving. Hours passed, and Soma somehow knew that Mata is not coming back. But then she followed, and she turned around, and there was some sort of pull that, sometimes when we feel like we should take a turn and look back. And when Soma turns around, she sees that Mata, first she sees the great light from her body, and then that light covered Ramji around, and then that light spread into two parts. This was a beautiful scenario. If you read this book, this is very nicely explained. This light spreading out in every direction, like a rain of light filling in the sky, pouring into the earth, blanketing the forest. The words Dina ma'am have chosen, it actually makes you feel that you were there. The words are so clear, and such nice words she has used in this paragraph. Rivers of light poured from the spot where her body had been. When the light finally faded, I saw that her form was no longer there. It was becoming one with the earth, with the sky, with everything. So Mata clearly explains that she's still here. Soma says she ran back to the cottage, and then Hanumanji is trying to console. So she says that for next few days, they just felt like it was a dream. And Ramji was preparing for the kids to go back to palace. And Ramji also told Soma that you should come back to the palace. But Soma says, no, I will stay here. I will stay here with the memories of Mata. The years passed by, Soma says, and Ramji always brought the kids to meet with Soma. And one day she felt that this pretending that I am fine without Mata was getting too much for me. And that day, when she felt like Mata was not there. That's how she was starting to feel that, I'm pretending Mata is here, but I don't feel her presence. So she was very upset and sad that day. And that's when she saw Ramji coming that path in the jungle. And Ramji says to Soma, we humans can't see what is right in front of us, Soma. Soma, see her step out of the sunlight, see her beautiful form rise from the earth. And then Ramji tapped Soma's forehead. I could feel her everywhere, Soma says. I could feel her in the streams. I could feel her in the breeze. And after that, I got my hut built here where Mata was used to meditate, and I've lived there since then. Shri Ram was always used to bring the boys, especially on the Mata's anniversary. And as Mata had mentioned, the boys are grown up now, and Mata has granddaughters now. And so, as Soma had promised Mata that she will take care of the girls, the granddaughters, and will guide them. So that's what she did. Hanuman, and then from Hanumanji, Soma found out that Ramji had left his body as well. And it was a similar way Ramji had entered into Saryu River. And even then, Hanumanji was there, and when this all happened. But Ramji stopped Hanuman that it's time for him to go, and that he should stay back and take care and spread their name, Ram and Sita's name, and their love that they had shown to the society. This name or this love had to be spread. And so Ramji had left his body. And so Soma stops her story right here, and she looks at all the people that they were listening to the story, all the rishis and all the saints that are there are sitting there and listening to the story. And then they all eat the nice snacks that Soma had offered, and they leave. At this point, only Ansuya and Mama are sitting. So Ansuya's mother says to Soma, I know Ram and Sita much better after listening to your story. That is very nice that you're narrating us the story. But I feel like it's time for us to go back home because Ansuya's father is waiting for us. At this point, Ansuya says, I don't feel like I should go back. I should stay here. And Soma says to Ansuya, my life is ending. My sun is setting. Your son has to grow. That means you're marriageable age. Why wasting my time, your young life with the old woman? So it's time for you to go. So Soma requests Ansuya's mother is if it's okay with her, can Ansuya stay with her tonight? And she makes arrangement, and Ansuya's mother says yes. So Soma makes arrangement for Ansuya's mother to go back to the ashram so she can rest for the night, and Ansuya stayed with Soma that night. So Soma made her the same drink that she often made for Mata to calm her down, or some relaxing drink. And so Soma gives that to Ansuya, and she tells Ansuya to drink it and just sleep. As she's sleeping, she's saying things to her, and Soma is telling everything to Ansuya, and Ansuya is half-heartedly listening to it. You know how when somebody's talking and you're not in a deep sleep, but you can remember everything. So basically, Soma is telling Ansuya how in the past life she was Sita Mata's maid, how she wanted to get married, how she loved this boy, but her father in the previous birth did not wanted Ansuya to get married, and in previous birth she was Meenakshi, and how she fell in love with this boy, and a father had this whole family had a curse, and so because of that curse she never got married. And how Mata's plan is that in this birth is the same boy is here in this earth, and the Ansuya's father is planning to get them married to the same guy from the previous birth. So Meenakshi's new birth is Ansuya, and that boy's new birth is also here, and that's when marriage is getting arranged. So it's Mata's desire, Mata's plan. So she should say yes to the marriage at this point. The proposal that she's getting is the same boy from the previous birth, and so she should say yes. Accept him the way he is. He has great love for Mata as well. So Soma is telling all this to Ansuya. And so when Ansuya wakes up in the morning, she goes, but I don't remember all this. What are you telling me? I don't remember what you were trying to tell me last night. I was not in a deep sleep, but I did understand what you're trying to say. But why don't I remember everything? If this was my previous birth, I should remember everything. So Soma tells Ansuya, do not worry if you don't remember, there's a reason for that. It is better not to dwell on the past, but to see what this life has to offer. You will find surprises ahead. Just cling to Mata as best as you can. Have the faith in Mata, and Mata will be your guiding star. Then Soma says, don't worry about all this. Just keep on going and live your life. And the thought of returning to Ayodhya no longer bothered Ansuya. And it was not painful as well. There was something soothing in Soma's word. that made her decide that it's time for her to go back. When when Ansuya woke up next morning, she could feel Mata everywhere. See, this is what I've been trying to tell from this book to everyone in the previous sessions as well. And Dina ma'am also says that feel Mata, trust, have faith in there. If the problem comes in your life, trust the Mata will be here, or whoever you believe in. But in this book, we will say, if you are reading this book, you will feel connected with this book. And the more I read this book, and I have not read this book 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, I've read this book 10 times. And every time I feel like my life is in a turmoil, or I feel like I need some guidance, I just open the book. I read few pages here and there, anywhere, whatever the book page I open, you will get that guidance in the book. And so Ansuya starts feeling Mata in the sun rays. She felt immense joy of her presence. All of a sudden, Ansuya saw her form and Mata's form appear, and she smiled. And then the Mata's form disappeared. Ansuya was so excited that she saw Mata. Nothing could be more miraculous than that. Soma then fixed her a breakfast, and during the breakfast, she asked, Ansuya, did you receive what you needed last night? Are you ready now to return? And Soma says yes. So that ends my chapter 22. I will start the last chapter, Soma's departure. So Ansuya and mom are ready to leave back for Ayodhya. And and obviously it's a long ride back home. And so while they are riding the horse and they're going back home, Ansuya is thinking about all the times that she had good times in her childhood. So Ansuya kind of remembers how Raja Ram had come to her house. That feeling, that connection that she had with Raja Ram is now like somebody has jogged her memory. So who jogged her memory was Soma. And so she remembered everything, how when she was a young girl and Ramji had come to their house, how he had spoken, a bond had been formed. That bond felt very eternal. And so Ansuya asked her mom, Ma, do you remember that day when I was a child and Ram Maharaj came to our house? Ma said, how can I forget that day? Ansuya says, but you never told me about that. How come nobody ever tried to jog my memory? That was the first time he came to our house, Mata says. So if anybody is joining you, they should know that Ansuya's father was working for Raja Ram Maharaj. And so Ramji, before he left his body, he made sure that he visited everybody's houses, and he would just suggest somebody. He would not force anything. He would just plant an idea in someone's mind. So he had already planted the idea of Ansuya getting married to this boy. And this boy's father was also another employee. You can consider him an employee because they're all working for Raja Ram, of Raja Ram itself. So he was another employee. So basically he was trying to get 2 employee kids getting married to each other, because Ramji knew this was Mata's desire. Mata really wanted Meenakshi to, in previous birth, Ansuya, Meenakshi, to get married to this boy. So he was planting this seeds in their minds, right? So back to Ansuya. Ansuya says, Mata, Ma, how can I, so why did you not tell me that I was, can you tell me everything or how it happened? So Ansuya's mother is trying to tell how it happened. So that day she was standing in the door. She was a shy little girl and Maharaj comes around. And then when Maharaj calls her out, she comes out shyly, stands between the near mother's legs. And Ramji had quietly said that how she was a maid to Sita, how her previous soul. And so basically her parents knew, Ansuya's parents knew that Ansuya was maid to Sita Mata in the previous birth. But he had always, but she never told, the parents did not wanted to tell Ansuya about this. And so Ansuya was not very happy about this. Why did you not tell me about this? So the reason that they did not tell, because they had already seen servant tendencies in their child. And the father was on a super high post, right? So he was like into that level of how he believed in his head that everybody has a designation. So if you are a king, you're supposed to be king. If you're a servant, you're supposed to be servant. If you are a warrior class, so basically a caste system had come in the society at this time. So the father never wanted Ansuya. That's what in his head was, that father, if I tell my daughter that she was a servant in the previous birth, she will act more like it. But our previous births are always our reflection. Sooner or later, we will react to those. We will respond to those tendencies. So if I if I if I was strangled in my previous birth, I will have issues with my throat. If I'm scared of water, maybe I was drowned in my previous birth. So sooner or later, those memories will come to our us. So there's no point of hiding. That's what Ansuya thought. But her father was like, "Oh no, he felt like he should have hidden all this." And her mother says to Ansuya that I'm really ashamed to say but please don't tell your father that I told you everything and you know everything at this point, but don't tell him. It's going to hurt his feelings because he's the head of the family, so let's not hurt his feelings. Excuse me. Ansuya says that I will never be able to forgive my father for this. And because, if she had knew all this, her questions would have been different towards coming to asking so much different kind of questions, right? She would take her chain of thought would have taken a different track. So, but when they came back home, Ansuya told his father, yes, that I'm ready to get married. And and she just didn't want to talk too much about with her father. The father was thinking, oh, my daughter said yes to the marriage, so she's being shy. But in fact, Ansuya was very upset with her father. So she didn't want to talk to her father much. So she barely spoke in front of her father and maintained a lot of silence. A few days later, Ansuya was sitting in the Surrey River, lost in her thought, and she felt that somebody was around her. She sees a young man standing not too far from looking at her, and he introduced himself. I am Ajit, he says. I assume you are Ansuya. My heart was pounding. So this is the first time she's meeting Ajit. Ajit is the same boy that from the previous birth that Meenakshi wanted to marry, and so it's in there. I try to reconnect the dots again and again so you don't forget the characters in the story. So I was destined to marry you, she says. Yeah. So he says, if you don't mind, can I come sit with you? So he sits next to Ansuya. Ansuya says that they started talking, basically trying to know each other. And so Ansuya says that this is my favorite spot to sit. And Ajit says, this is my favorite spot to sit as well. So Ajit is also is a nature lover. Suddenly, he sees a very furry animal that was struggling. And Ajit loves animals as well. Because see, in his previous birth, Ajit also was a caretaker of animals in Mata's palace. And Ajit went. So again, the traces of previous birth are coming in Ajit. So how his previous birth, he was a caretaker and loved animals. In this birth also, he loved animals. And how scared Meenakshi was in the previous birth for getting married. So Ansuya had the same fears. So those things, are what we are today are always the traces of our previous births. So Ansuya says she watched how Ajit went to that animal and he took a necklace out of his neck and he put it on the necklace to the furry animal. And all of a sudden that animal healed and he was on his way. So, and then she says, where did you get this necklace from? She says that Ajit says that my grandmother gave this necklace to me. And how did the grandmother gave it to this necklace to Sita? So basically, Sita Mata had given this necklace to the Ajita's grandmother. And the same necklace is one that Sita Mata had gotten from her mother while she was leaving after getting married. So I had mentioned in my previous chapters, don't forget this necklace is going to have this end. So this necklace finally has, Ajit has it and it has powers to heal people. So Ajit healed that furry animal with the help of the necklace. And so it was time that, that they were getting to know about each other. Soma says that I will never forget the day that Shri Ram had brought this back and hadn't met him yet. That's when you see your future with him. So she remembers all that conversations with Soma. Ansuya is remembering all these conversations with Soma. And so she's like, oh, now I have to learn to know more about this boy because I'm going to get married. And so it didn't matter what Mata had said. A few weeks later, another extraordinary event took place, and that is they were all getting married. So when before the marriage has to happen, she was like, "I want to go meet Soma again." So this time she wants Ajit to go with them to see Soma. So I will stop my story here, and I will open the floor for you guys if you have any questions for me. Yes, there is a playlist. Kalpana ji, yes. Oh, here's a playlist. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Kalpana ji, for the playlist for anybody that has missed. If anybody has any questions, please feel to ask. And I open the floor, and thank you everyone for listening to me.
I just want to say thank you, ma'am, because every time when I hear from your voice, it's like I'm in those fields. I'm there. I'm there. I'm sitting with Soma, sitting with Meenakshi and Surya and listening. And you are the one who is narrating for us. So it's such a wonderful to hear the conversation from you. So thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Is that you, Kalpana ji?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Kalpana ji. I have heard that from many participants in the past as well. I think Patri sir has guided me to do this. And Dina
Yep.
ma'am, after meeting her, she has really inspired me that this book has to go to a lot of people. And this book gives me immense peace. And whenever I feel lost, how everybody has their own religious book, I feel like this has turned out to be my religious book for me. And
Yeah.
so everybody has their own comfort
Yep.
zone. So this is my comfort. My parents are very
Your
far from
mom will
here.
be.
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
mom is in India. So, and I do talk to her. I talk to my Masi all the time. But sometimes there are certain problems in our life
Mm-hmm.
that we don't want to even discuss with our parents because we don't want to bother them. They're so far overseas. So it's
Yep.
like, okay, so she's my friend, she's my guide, she's my mentor. So yes, thank you
Yep.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
will leave the platform for you to start
Mhm.
meditation. And
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Okay, we'll start the meditation now.